Good evening, everybody. Let's take a look at why Tesla is not bullish yet. Today we closed down $3.78. That's 1.4%, closed at 265.28. Post-market, we seem to be up by $1.12. So let's look at what we have here on the chart. So we have a red candle. Yesterday, we closed above our buyer support. So the buyers are coming in at 265.32. And look at what happened today. We stopped right there. At that point, the buyers are keeping that price right there. This is right smack at 265.32. This is telling us that our buyer support is in the right place. Why is Tesla not bullish? We are into this downward channel. We have a big downward channel that started in November 2021. That was a long time ago. And at that time, Tesla stock was worth $1,200 and it has been going down ever since. If you look at all of these points right here, on January 4th, 2022, on April 4th, 2022, and also not too long ago, July 18, 2023, we cannot break this seller's resistance. We are studying the tug of war between the buyers and the sellers, and when we come to a point where the stock price does not go higher, this is an indication that the sellers get too strong at that level. They have made enough money and they decide to just start selling. So this is what we call a resistance. This is a selling area, a selling pressure area. And that selling area has been in play for a year and a half. We need to take this into account. So Tesla is still in a downward trend. Recently, Tesla has been going up quite far because Tesla was pretty low. And we had a nice run right here. We had our two buy signals. One in January and also one in May. But right now, what is happening is that we cannot break this seller's resistance. The sellers are there and they are winning each time the stock is going higher. Tesla is not bullish because we are into this downward resistance. Also, Tesla is also into a congestion zone. This is what we call a congestion zone when a stock is just going sideways. And we are sideways between 265.32 and 285. We are just going sideways. And recently, we were into a downward channel. So we were into a short-term downtrend. That short-term downtrend has finished. We came outside of that downtrend. So this is a positive indication. This is no longer going down in the short term. This is going sideways. We can start thinking on the daily chart that Tesla could become bullish if it starts to break 285. And at the same time, we need to have stochastic over 60. Right now, we have stochastic at 41. Until we meet these conditions, we cannot say that Tesla is bullish on the daily chart. This is not the time to get in if you are not in. If we take a look at the 1 hour chart, then on the 1 hour chart, we can get a lot more buying opportunities. But we still have to meet the same criteria. The first criteria that we need to meet is that we need to break a downward diagonal resistance. This happened yesterday at 3:30. We had broken this downward resistance, so this is the first criteria. The second criteria before buying on the 1 hour chart was that if we would close above this horizontal resistance at 270.37. We did not do that today. We tried it during the first hour, but we did not close above it. We came back down and we retested it at 130. We tried to get over, but the sellers are too strong at 270.37. Compared to the buyers, we are just going down. We still have some buyer support at 266.24, which is a little bit lower than 265.32. We still have some buyer support. It's possible that the buyers would push this back up again, and we could try again 270.37 tomorrow. Right now, even on the 1 hour chart, this is not bullish. This is not the time to get in. We need to break 270.37. And we need to have stochastic over 60, which we have lost today, by the way. If we come back up a little bit tomorrow, then most likely stochastic is going to come back over 60. So then a break of 270.37 would tell us that it would be time to get back in for a short-term swing on the 1 hour chart. Let's go back on the daily chart. Let's look at our indicators. So stochastic is at 41. This is telling us that every move up that we have on the stock should not be believed. Any move up without stochastic over 60 is not a valid move. And I can show you many examples. If we take this part here, October 5th, 2022, the stock started to go down. And then it found the floor, it found buyer support, and then it started to go back up. It started to go back up, and look at what happened to stochastic. It never went over 60. So this move up, which could have looked like, okay, the buyers are now winning, we should just hop on with the buyers, we should buy. No, this is not what happened. We started to going down, 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 down. This is why we have our 3 buying criteria in order to prevent us from making mistakes and get into a stock for it to just reverse back on us. We don't want to make that mistake. This is why we need to have stochastic over 60 to believe in any move. And we don't need to know when it is going to happen. We don't need to know when. We just need to see it and act when it happens. If it's tomorrow, if it's in 2 weeks, it's going to be in 2 weeks. We don't care. We are just patient and we are waiting for the prey to come close to us, and when it's close to us, we are going to jump on it. Let's take a look at some Tesla news. So Tesla now outsells Toyota in California. Tesla has the 2 best-selling cars in California by a ridiculous margin, and we are not just talking about electric vehicles. It even outsells longtime bestseller Toyota overall in Q2. So Tesla has the 2 best-selling vehicles in California, and it's not even close. There's the Tesla Model 3 at 41,000 units and the Tesla Model Y at 74,000 units. The next best are far behind, Toyota Camry with 27,000 units and the RAV4 at 26,000. Speaking of Toyota, it was dethroned by Tesla for the first time in California during the second quarter. And also as a whole, Tesla was the best-selling brand in California with just north of 69,000 units compared to Toyota's 67,000 units. That is very impressive. I am very happy. Let's take a look at the VIX. When the VIX is going up, the stock market tends to go down. So VIX started to go up a little bit yesterday. It tried to break 1409, but then it came back down during the day. And also, this is finishing a little bit lower today. We are down 0.05. We are liking this. Rivian is still in its congestion zone between the buyers at 23.59 and between the sellers at 26.91. There is an equilibrium between the two. We just need to wait to see who is going to win that round. If we close lower than 23.59, that's a sell. If we go higher than 26.91, that's a buy. Xpeng, look at this. Xpeng, the buyers went through the sellers yesterday at 15.23. This line at 15.23 is now a buyer support. And today we went pretty high. We went as high as 1688, but then we came down a little bit. So we closed at 1536, down 65 cents. That's 4.06% down. And post-market, we seem to be up a little bit by 5 cents. On the plus side, we still made a higher low and we also made a higher high. Yes, it's a red candle. This is not something that we prefer. We prefer to have a nice green candle because we tend to go long in most of the stocks that we trade in. But as long as there are enough buyers to keep the stock price above 15.23, we should be okay. The same thing with NEO. We have broken yesterday 11.31. The buyers are really strong on that one. We have a red candle too on this one. We went quite high, but then we lost some of the grounds during the day, but not everything was lost. So we still made a very higher low and also made a very higher high. Nothing to worry about yet. It sometimes happens that when we have a big break with a big candle that we have a little bit of a pullback, but this one I won't even call this a pullback because it's still very high compared to the low of yesterday. Palantir, this one seems like there's still some buyers supporting the price on this bullish channel support. So far it's still okay. We see that there are still sellers at 1690 that are overpowering the buyers because we tried to go above 1690 but we could not do it and we just were pushed down. But we finished with a green candle at least. This means that the buyers have won some ground during the day. We closed at 1655, up 23 cents. That's 1.41%. And post-market we seem to be up a little bit by 7 cents. And Nvidia, this is fantastic. The stock is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. We closed at 456.79, up $10.67. That's good for 2.39%. Post-market, we seem to be up by a further 66 cents. So we now have the bounce that we were looking for. So this is textbook perfect. When you identify that you have a buyer support, a diagonal buyer support, you just draw the line and the stock should be bouncing on that line. This is exactly what it is doing right now. It was down for 4 days and now we have a nice bounce right here. Let's hope that it continues. We had lost stochastic over 60 at some point right here, but we just gained it back today. So PayPal is in a congestion zone. The tug of war between the buyers and sellers has not been settled yet. So the buyer support is at $71.07 and the sellers are at $75.11. So we are down 73 cents, closed at 72.96, down 0.99%. Dow Jones inching a little bit higher, 0.08%, still in its bullish channel. S&P 500, nice day also, up 0.28%. Nasdaq Composite, it's still bouncing on 14,006. It does not seem that it wants to go down. The buyers are maintaining this up there. Physical gold is bouncing on our downward channel buyer support. This is a nice green candle, so we closed up 5 cents at 15.30. I would not buy this one until we break the seller resistance at 15.41. Silver is recovering quite well, so we had lost our buyer support at 8.41 and now we just gained it back. The buyers appeared and changed their minds a little bit, but we are back up at 18.41. Bitcoin, we have lost our buyer support at 29.838. We have buyer support at 28.817. This is not the time to get into Bitcoin yet. In order to be a buy, it would need to break this downward resistance right here. And then it would need to break this horizontal resistance at 29.838. And then we would need also stochastic to be over 60. So we just have to wait on that one. Ripple, so Ripple is really looking like the buyer support is still holding at 0.66833. We have a long wick here on this candle, so it means that when it tried to go down, then it was pushed back up by the buyers. So this is giving us indication that there are really some buyers preventing the price to go even lower. US dollar, as predicted, this nice move up right here did not have stochastic over 60, so this was not to be believed to stay for a longer term, and now we are seeing some signs that this wants to go down. Neo battery material on the Canadian exchange, it closed up 0.005, 1.35%, closed at 375. It seems like it wants to go a little bit higher. If you are looking here, we have been making higher lows right here, and now we are trying to break this big seller resistance right here. We have broken it during the day, but we close back in. We see an intention that we want to break this. I would not consider this a buy until we are breaking this horizontal resistance, until we have stochastic over 60. It could be happening in a few days. We'll see. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you like what I do, you can become a YouTube member. Click on my TradingView affiliate link. I'm going to wish you a great evening. We are going to talk tomorrow and I'm going to tell you à la prochaine.